What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the dive release and how you guys can use this, how you guys can use this to set up other routes, and how you guys can create some more separation off of this release, and obviously when to use this release, okay? And guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get faster, you want to be a more explosive receiver, check out that link in the description that says Speed Workout Plan. Full 28-day plan designed to make you faster with specific exercises, about 7 to 8 exercises per day. Full 28-day plan with rest days included, conditioning days included, and stuff that will make you a faster athlete. Let's get started with this breakdown. So this dive release here, for those of you that know what it is, this is just a quick review. For those of you that don't know what it is, a dive release is where you just dive pretty much to the inside. So you take 2 hard steps to the inside. You try to get this DB to turn his hips to sell like we're just running this drag straight across his face. Now, the first clip is an in-game example and how a smaller receiver can really threaten a DB with this, can threaten a linebacker with this, can threaten a safety walk down with this. And the second clip is going to be more of like a one-on-one situation. We're going to talk about how you're maybe not as much of a threat on a drag on a one-on-one, but it's still good technique and it's still a good technique review. Okay, so let's watch it full speed. So we're going to be looking at Switzer here. He goes 1-2 to the inside, bursts back upfield, breaks this thing off, and then makes this catch to the sideline. So now, the key about this is he's off the ball, right? So he's off the ball, and we're got to get to the sticks. I'm assuming this is like a third down situation, third and short, right? So he's coming off and trying to make this DB believe that he's just trying to cross his face right now and be fast. So how I can do that is with my speed and with my pad level by Switzer here. So you see how he comes off and he goes 1-2. Right now, look where his hips are committed. Look where his shoulders committed. Look where the DB's eyes are. DB's eyes are on these hips because that's where he's going to go. So we got to make sure that anytime I'm making a cut, fellas, anytime I'm doing a diamond release, anytime I'm doing a dive release, a dive is just kind of the reverse of a diamond. 45-degree angle almost to the inside right now. And another thing I want to clear up, fellas, is that they're not thinking about all this. They're not thinking about all this technical stuff. This is just stuff that you guys should be thinking about in the offseason to build. So you rep it. And then when you're actually in a game and time to go, it's just easy. It's just second nature, right? That's why I try to be so detailed with these breakdowns so you guys take this into your training that you're doing right now to get you prepared for obviously this next season, whenever that may be. So now, when he commits these hips and he commits his shoulders, it's more believable that he's crossing his face. What a lot of people will do on this is they'll just go here, 1-2, and their hips will stay forward the entire time. All that DB's going to do is just shuffle with me. He's not going to turn that gate. He's not going to commit his hips, and he's not going to run with me. Now, when I do actually get him to commit those hips, sudden with this cut, commit my shoulders, I get his hips to turn, what arm do we have to beat? Because I want to take an outside release. All I got to do is beat this left arm. If he recovers with this outside arm, so what? We got the outside release. We kept the timing with my quarterback, okay? So now that's exactly what Switzer does. He throws out this arm to recover, right? When we get him to overcommit to the inside and he has to reach out this arm, his hips are going to lock out. And when we get his hips to lock out and I can attack this arm and I swat and attack his elbow, right? You see attacking that point of control and he just chops down with that opposite arm, swat, chop, hips lock, very slow out of there, and we're able to burst upfield, and he goes off that second inside step and bursts out and accelerates out. Ball's a little late, which allows this DB to recover. Ball's out on time. That's a completely different story, but this is a great route here by Switzer setting up this dive release, right? So selling like we're going drag. 2 hard steps to the inside. Get his hips to turn. Swat that arm by. No, we only have to beat this left arm because I want to take an outside release and then burst up to the depth of the route. Let's watch it full speed. So he comes off here, 1-2. Commits those hips fast. Very smooth route here by Switzer. Great job. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at this route here by Calvin Ridley. This is one of those routes that kind of went viral by him working out in this offseason, but we're going to talk about this dive and how it builds off of exactly what we were just talking about, right? So now, when we're in a one-on-one situation, fellas, and I don't like talking about one-on-ones because that's not real football. I'm trying to get you ready for actual game where you got pads on, where it's realistic, but it's still good to break down the technique, right? But in this situation, when he takes off to the inside here on these 2 steps, what DB is going to be expecting a drag in one-on-ones? That's just the stupid, like, you don't run a drag in one-on-ones. That's just something that nobody does. It's kind of a cheap thing. You just have this DB chase you across the field. It's an easy completion. Nobody got really any better from that. So that's why this DB isn't as threatened by this move. In a game time scenario, we come off the line this hard that he did, it's going to get a DB to turn his hips, because if you sell it with your hips as much as he does, who wouldn't turn their hips? There comes a point where a DB has to turn his hips. He can't shuffle with you forever. So if you're able to make it believable and you're able to fully commit to the break in a short amount of time, in a short amount of space, and get off of there effectively and get out of there fast, that's going to create some separation for you. So let's watch it again. So let's watch this full speed, or let's break this thing down. We already watched it full speed. So you see how he comes off? He's 1, Look where his hips are, look where his shoulders are, look where his eyes are, look where his arms are, right? 1, 2, and he breaks this thing off. If we fully commit my hips and my shoulders like this in a game, what DB's not going to be thinking drag? You know what I mean? The only thing I can say is that he may have came off a little bit flat here, and it's not selling drag when you go a little bit flat. You want to make sure that we try to get it almost this 45 like I was talking about, because that gives more of a threat to this DB that you're trying to take an inside release, right? So when we go off and we're a little bit flat, that DB can just shuffle with us and keep distance, so he's going to be able to recover, right? If I push it up a little bit more on this 45, it's more enticing for him to turn his hips, and then I could swat that hand by, right? But again, it's tough to sell drag. It's tough to sell like you're trying to cross his face right now when you're running one-on-ones, right? So that's a tough thing to do. But overall, we did a good job of bursting back outside. And again, you see he's initiating contact, knows he has to beat what arm? He has to beat his outside arm and burst upfield. Now, right now, it's selling like he could just break this thing off and run an out route easily, right? He takes that dive release, bursts upfield. This is what I work with my guys a lot. When we put everything together, we put the release, we put the route together, we'll work a dive release, burst back outside, and we run an out route, right? I normally don't have him work a dive release and then I have him go a 1-2, but it can build off of that, right? And so that's what I want to show you guys today. So you see how he's here. Everybody's expecting him to go out. He breaks here, throws his body into it, selling like he's going dive, working this out route, and that's something you guys could do a lot of. And then on film, when a DB starts to understand your tendencies, a D coordinator understands your tendencies, and you throw this rocker step at him where you go here and you go 1-2, and it's very important on a rocker step that your upper half is loose. If your upper half can be loose and your feet can be explosive and you really pop those 2 steps and throw your upper half, again, what's that DB going to be looking at? He's going to be looking at your back hip, especially when he's restacked. Your shoulders tell lies. Eyes tell lies, right? So everybody loves to say, oh, eyes tell lies. Sell with your eyes, right? Yeah, that's great. And your eyes will bring your hips around. You got to make sure you fully commit your hips, right? Everybody can't just rely on my shoulders and my head. You got to commit those hips to that break. You got to throw your hip to that break without opening up that toe to open up your hip to make you a little bit slower, okay? You got to make sure that my toe stays forward. Weight stays on the inside part of your foot. Not so much forward, but like not turned in, not turned out to where your hips are weak, but somewhere where you could keep the weight on the inside arch of your foot, shin angles in a 45, and your upper half can throw to the outside. And you see what that does? That gets that DB to hesitate, wants him to jump to the outside, and then I could accelerate over the middle. Great route here by Ridley. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. So a little bit flat on this dive. Could push 45 a little bit more, but again, hard to be a threat on a drag when you're in one-on-ones. Burst upfield, sell the out with my upper half, sudden feet, throw your hips and throw your body to the outside. Catch yourself on that left leg, then accelerate back out. Let's watch it again. So 1-2, burst back to the outside, then gives him a 1-2 at the top. Great route here by Ridley, building off of this dive release. All right, guys, I hope this gave you guys some value. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the dive release, how you guys can learn when to use it, how to use it. And again, if you're a receiver and you want to get a little bit quicker, you want to be more faster, you want to be more explosive, check out that link in the description. It says speed workout plan. And if you guys have any questions at all or any suggestions, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.